Alright, today we're going to talk about area of squares and rectangles. And you've seen this word area before, and it shouldn't be anything new. Area, a couple different ways to think about it. But the area is the amount of space on a flat surface. So if you were to look at this first rectangle, and not even worrying about a formula, if we were to take this 2 feet and cut it in half, so this represents 1 foot and this is 1 foot, and then the 6 feet, break this up. One of the ways I always think about area as square tiles, like I'm going to put some tile on the floor or carpet, because area kind of makes me think about I'm going to cover something. And so what I've done is I've broken up this rectangle into little 1 by 1 squares, and so now you can count how many squares there are. And so this has 12, what we say is square feet. And so it would take 12 squares that are 1 foot by 1 foot to cover this rectangle. Now, we're not going to do that for every problem. And if you look at 12, is there a way to get 12 from these two numbers? And the way you would get that is by multiplying the base times the height. And so we get 6 feet times 2 feet, which gives us 12 feet squared. And so square feet and feet squared are the same thing. So go ahead and try 1b over here, and although it's not marked, you just need to assume it's a square, so that means all the sides are equal, and you can use this formula to find the area of the square. So in 2a, we're going to find the area of the shaded region. And so what we're first going to do is we're going to find the area of the big rectangle, and we'll subtract out the area of the small rectangle. And so when we find the area of the big rectangle, we're finding the area of the entire thing. And so we just use our formula of base times height. So the base is 15. The height is 10. And so we get 150. So now we're going to take away we're going to cut out the the rectangle in the middle. So we're going to take this piece and cut it out. And so this will no longer be there. And so it's the same formula, base times height. So the base is 12, the height is 5. And what's great about this formula, since it's multiplying the same, we'll get the same answer. So instead of going 12 times 5, if I did 5 times 12, I get the same answer. So 12 and 5 gives us 60. And so 150 minus 60 gives us 90. Now again, when there's no units, we would write just a generic term units. But since we're talking about area, it's always units squared. So our answer here is 90 units squared, or 90 square units. For 2b, there's no picture, so when there's no picture, go ahead and draw a picture and fill in the information they give you. Alright, for 3a, it tells us the area is 24 centimeters squared. It tells us the height, so we're going to want to figure out what the base is. And since we hear this word base, we always think it's on the bottom, but since in a rectangle the opposite sides are equal, if this is y, this is also y. So that doesn't really matter. So write the formula down. A equals base times height. And they give us that the area is 24. So we're going to replace that with 24 centimeters squared. We don't know what the base is. That's what we're trying to find. Now, since they tell us it's y, we can go ahead and write y. If you want to leave it as b, that would also be fine. And they tell us that the height is 3. So it's going to be times 3 centimeters. And so now what times 3 equals 24? So that's just an equation that we would solve. So we divide both sides by 3 centimeters. And so what happens here is 24 divided by 3 gives us 8. And then here we have centimeter, and we have 2 centimeters squared up here. And so what happens is this centimeter cancels out one of these and just makes centimeter. And so now we have y equals 8 centimeters. And so if you were to go back and check it and put 8 centimeters here, 8 times 3 is 24. Centimeters times centimeters gives you the centimeter squared. So go ahead and try 3b on your own. Be careful with this one. The formula is still the same, base times height, and so they give you more information than you need to solve this problem. So all you need is the base and the height, and ignore the other two.